I asked ChatGPT to act like a pro trader and predict exactly when Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins would top this cycle. It gave me dates, price ranges, and a terrifyingly familiar pattern. In every crypto bull run, there's one moment you wish you sold and one moment you wish you bought more. Right now, we are dangerously close to both. They all move in cycles, and the data says we're in the final stages. My name's Ray, and welcome back to the Cash Lab, guys, where we turn tech trends into profits. I've been in the crypto market since the 2017 bull run, seeing the ups and downs of 3 different market cycles. And one thing's for sure, if you don't have an exit strategy, you will more than likely be in the category of the 90% of people who lose money in crypto. In this video, I'll show you exactly what ChatGPT predicted, why it made those calls using real on-chain data, and whether Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins are still on track to follow the past 3 cycles. So let's get into it. I wanted Chat to be super detailed with this research so that it could give me the best predictions possible. And the best way that I have found to do that, ask Chat to give me a prompt in order to get the best results. And here are the detailed objectives that it was given itself in order to come up with this prompt. And then it asked, do you want me to train as a pro trader? And I said, yes, please go ahead and train as a pro trader. And this is a fresh chat. I copied and pasted the prompt that it gave me. And it gave me all kinds of executive summaries and cycle comparison tables. And I realized that this may not be the best thing for a video. So in order to make this video much shorter, I asked it to give me a clean summary of past price action and future predictions with timetable in outline form. So first we'll start with Bitcoin. And what I did is I took the information that this chart gave me and I also charted this on a BTC weekly chart all the way back to 2012. So here we go. Cycle A was from 2011 to 2013. The very bottom, 2011, was $2. It ran all the way up during the first cycle to $1,150 on December of 2013. Had a 57,000% gain. And then it drew down 85% in the bear market to $150. So just to show you what that looks like. And in order to make this chart super easy to understand, I charted the Bitcoin halving in the blue lines and I charted the very bottom of the bear market in the yellow lines. And the cycle tops are marked with the green arrows. I've also charted the amount of time it took from the halving to the very top of the market and then from the top of the market to the very bottom of the bear market. So the cycles are clearly laid out for us to easily understand. So here is the $2 price point in November of 2011 that Chat was talking about. And this ran all the way up to a little bit over $1,100 to the top of the bear market. So the Bitcoin halving happened in November of 2012. And from that point all the way up to the top of that cycle was about 52 weekly bars. And that's about 364 days, so almost a year to the day from the halving to the top of the market. Then we had the big bear market, and that was about 413 days from the top of the market all the way to the bottom of the bear market, where it came down a little bit over $150. Cycle 2 ran from 2015 to 2017. At the very bottom, it was about $200, which is January of 2015. Maybe Chat rounded up a little bit because it was about $170. From that point, it ran all the way up to $19,800, and that was in December of 2017. It was a 9,800% gain. And then again, we had the crypto winter and the bear market where we came down 84% to about $3,200. So in the chart, that looks like this. And here is the bottom of the bear where it came just under $200. From that bear market, we had 518 days from the bottom of the bear to the Bitcoin halving. And here's what that looks like in chart form. Here's the end of that cycle, January of 2015. From that point, we had 518 days to the next Bitcoin halving, and that was June of 2016. And then we ran all the way up in December of 2017 to about $19,800. Then we ran down 84% to about $3,200 right here, and that was in December of 2018. And then from the Bitcoin halving, we've got 546 days to the top of the market. We've got 371 days from the top of the cycle all the way to the very bottom of the bear market. Now, cycle 3, we've got from 2018 to 2021. And the very bottom of that bear market, which we just saw, was $3,200 in December of 18. That ran all the way up to the top of the market in November of 2021 at $69,000. And that was was a 2,000% gain. We also had a crash, and it was about 77% this time during the crypto winter of 2022. Brought us down to about 15.5. And trust me when I tell you that at 15,500, the fear factor was in full effect. Okay, so cycle 4 was from 2022 to 2026. We are currently in cycle 4. So the bottom of the bear market was 15,500 in November of 2022. Now, it did get the current price action wrong. We're sitting right now about 116, 117K. It said that we're currently sitting at $65,000 to $70,000 in August of 2025. Now, it gave us a gain so far of 4.2x, but we know the price action's wrong. Given the trading price right now at 117,000, we're sitting at about 7.54x from the very bottom of 15.5. And here is where it took all of that information and it gave me the prediction from the cycle 2024 to 2026. We are right in the center of that right now. A likely top range of about 160 to 210,000. I think we are absolutely in line to hit that. And the window that it gives is October 2025. And here is what that cycle looked like. It ran all the way up to $66,000 during March of 2021. And then it had a huge bear market in the middle of that year. And we topped again in November of 2021. Exactly 546 days from the Bitcoin halving to the cycle top in the 2017 bull run, and exactly 546 days from the halving to the cycle top during the 2020-2021 bull run. From that $69,000 level, we ran 378 days all the way to the very bear market once again of 15.5. 15.5 marked the current cycle that we are sitting in right now from 2022 to 2026. So given this window, we're actually sitting a few months away, 546 days. We would be sitting at Monday, October 27th to the day. And you can see how close we actually are to that point. According to ChatGPT, from today, we have a maximum of 161 days before the end of this cycle. I will definitely be taking profits from October all the way to January. And for ETH, I'll do it a little bit quicker based on past price action, which cycle 1, 2015 to 2018, Ethereum was 50 cents in 2015, guys. It ran up by January of 2018 to $1,400. It was one of the best performers of that bull run, at a 2,800% gain. Then it came down 94% to about 80 bucks. And that was in December of 2018. I went ahead and charted this one just like we did with Bitcoin. 2015, Ethereum was about 50 cents. And it ran all the way up in January of 2018 to 1,400 bucks. It drew down 94% and it hit right in the 80s here. And cycle 2 for Ethereum during the years of 2018 to 2022, we had a bottom in December of 18 at about 80 bucks. Ran all the way up to $4,870, which we finally, after 4 years, just broke that all-time high again. It had a gain of 60x, and then it drew down in November of 2022 about 82% to about $1,000. And again, I think chat's maybe rounding up a bit because I remember it hitting in the 800s. And if we take a look at that cycle here, here's December of 2018. We had $81, ran all the way up in November of 21 to about $4,800. And from that point, we had the big crypto winter. And in June of 2022, it hit its bottom. Looks like it just wicked down past 900. And that brings us to our current cycle, cycle 3, 20 to 2026. It was actually about $880 was the bottom. November of 2022. It brought us all the way up in August of 2025, right now at 4,600. Chat was from about 2 to 3 days ago. We actually just yesterday made a new all-time high and broke past that 4,800 mark. So right now we're sitting at a current gain of 4.6, maybe 4.7, but Ethereum hasn't even started. Here's where the prediction comes into play. We've got a likely price range from 6,500 to 8,500. I think that is an absolute safe bet. When Bitcoin tops, Ethereum usually tops about a month later, and that window it gives us is from November 2025 to February of 2026, which is about a month past the time frame it gave us for Bitcoin. Then it says it's going to draw all the way down between $1,400 and $2,200. That is from July 2026 to November of 2026, based on typical 70 to 80% post-top drawdowns. And then it gives us the ETH BTC pair ratio. This is saying it's going to be about 0.08 to 0.1. And once Ethereum starts to outperform Bitcoin, we're going to see the other altcoins fly. And here's the prediction it gave us for alt seasons. In cycle 1, 2013, we had a very small alt market. It was dominated by BTC. We did have niche alts like Litecoin. Dogecoin also came out during that time frame. In 2017, this is when altcoins really started to surge. After BTC already had its run up, altcoins started to surge, and that was in Q2 of 2017. It topped out January of 2018 for many alts. A 10 to a 100x for large cap, 1000x for some micros. Drawdown for altcoins is super brutal, 90 to 98% across the board. Many of the coins that I was invested in 2017 no longer exist. After a project falls out 90, 99%, the team just goes ghost. You'll start seeing Twitters that haven't been posted on for 2 to 3 years. After Bitcoin topped in April of 2021, altcoins started to run. Meme coins, DeFi, L1s saw explosive gains. And then the drawdown was 70 to 95% in 2022. And current cycle, 2023 to 2026, alt season is emerging, confirmed by BTC dominance peaking 58%. We're actually coming down from about a 64% Bitcoin dominated market. That was in April of 2024. For the altcoin market, it's saying that there's a likely range of about 80 to 150% across the board from current August 2025 levels. If we take a look at the others chart is the entire crypto market minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's all of the other altcoins. Currently, it is sitting at about $307 billion. It is giving us a prediction, bringing it all the way to about 800 billion. So if Chat's prediction is right, we are literally months away from the peak of this cycle and one mistake away from losing everything that we have gained. There used to be a saying called WAGMI in crypto, and it stood for we're all going to make it. Let me tell you something, we're not all going to make it. 90% of the people who are invested in crypto right now are not going to pull out in time, and they are going to lose everything that they have gained. What I can suggest is to actually do the research on the team, on the tokens, get with the community that you trust. If you're not on crypto Twitter, CashLab_ETH is where we're at. Give us a follow. And if you like staying ahead of the market with AI, tech, and crypto, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.